I'm 89 years old, and yesterday I walked 2 miles, cooked dinner for 6 people, and reorganized my entire garage. My daughter is 63 and can barely make it up a flight of stairs without needing to sit down. Something's backwards here, isn't it? People ask me constantly what I'm doing differently, and the answer isn't what they expect. It's not genetics, not medication, not some expensive supplement routine. It's 5 things I do every single morning before most people even check their phones. Here's what nobody tells you about aging. Your body doesn't just slowly decline on its own. You train it to decline by ignoring what it actually needs first thing in the morning. Those first 30 minutes after you wake up, they're setting the trajectory for your entire day, and most people are getting it catastrophically wrong. I learned this the hard way at 76. That was the year everything started falling apart. I'd wake up stiff, stumble to the bathroom holding walls, spend the first hour just trying to feel human. My doctor said it was normal aging. I said it was unacceptable. So I started experimenting, changing one thing at a time, paying attention to what actually made a difference versus what just sounded good. 23 years later, I move better than people half my age. But before I reveal what changed, you need to understand something critical. These aren't complicated rituals requiring expensive equipment or an hour of your time. The total investment? 17 minutes. That's less time than most people spend scrolling social media before getting out of bed. Let me start with the one that shocked me most because it seemed too simple to matter. Every night before bed, I fill a glass with 16 ounces of room temperature water and add 1 small pinch of sea salt. Not table salt, sea salt. I set it on my nightstand. The moment I open my eyes in the morning, before I speak, before I move, I drink the entire glass. You're probably thinking that's nothing special. I thought the same thing. But here's what I didn't know at 76. While you sleep, your body loses nearly a liter of water through breathing and skin evaporation alone. That's 4 cups. By morning, your blood has literally thickened. Your joints are operating with reduced fluid. Your brain is running on reduced capacity. Johns Hopkins research shows that even mild dehydration in people over 65 reduces brain function by more than 25%. It also triggers inflammation, which is why your joints ache before you've done anything physical. You're not stiff because you're old. You're stiff because you're dehydrated. The salt matters because water alone doesn't hydrate you at the cellular level. Your cells need electrolytes to actually pull that water inside where it's needed. This process, osmotic absorption, is what restores balance after 8 hours of fluid loss. Within 3 days of starting this, my morning knee pain decreased noticeably. Within 2 weeks, the brain fog I'd accepted as normal had lifted. I could think clearly before 8 in the morning for the first time in years. My neighbor Patricia is 81. She'd been getting dizzy spells every morning, sometimes needing to sit back down after standing up. Her doctor put her on blood pressure medication that didn't help. I told her about the water ritual. She laughed, said it was too basic to work. But she tried it anyway. 5 days later, the dizziness stopped completely. 2 weeks later, she threw out the medication her doctor had prescribed. Your body is screaming for hydration every single morning, and most people respond by pouring coffee into it, which actually dehydrates you further. It's like your car's oil light comes on and you decide to check your tire pressure instead. So tonight, before you go to bed, fill that glass. Add the pinch of salt. Set it where you'll see it first thing. Tomorrow morning, before anything else enters your body, drink it all. 30 seconds, that will change how your entire day feels. But hydration is only the beginning. Because what you do in the next 15 minutes after drinking that water determines whether your body wakes up fully or stays in a fog all day. Most people make a critical mistake here, one that keeps them feeling tired and mentally slow until noon. I made this same mistake for decades until I discovered what actually signals your body to wake up properly. It has nothing to do with caffeine, nothing to do with cold showers, and everything to do with something so obvious that doctors rarely mention it. Light. Natural outdoor light. That's the signal your body has been waiting for since you opened your eyes. Every morning, within 30 minutes of waking, I step outside onto my porch, rain or shine, cold or warm. I stand there for 10 to 15 minutes and let morning light reach my eyes. No sunglasses, no window glass between me and the sky, just direct exposure to natural light. You might be wondering why this matters so much. Here's what changed for me at 77. I was sleeping the same hours I always had, bed by 10, awake by 6. But I'd wake up feeling heavy, groggy, like my brain hadn't quite turned on yet. I'd make coffee, sit at my kitchen table and wait for the fog to lift. Some days it never did. By noon I'd feel half awake at best. I thought that was just what happened when you got older. My granddaughter visited one weekend and asked why I never sat on the porch anymore in the mornings. That question stopped me cold. I used to love those quiet morning moments outside. When had I stopped? Why had I stopped? Turns out, I'd been making a mistake that kept my body stuck in sleep mode all day long. Your body operates on an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This isn't just about when you feel sleepy. This rhythm controls over 150 different functions: hormone production, digestion, immune response, even how efficiently your body repairs damage while you sleep. But here's the critical part. That clock needs to be reset every single morning. And the only reset button that works is natural outdoor light hitting your eyes. Stanford research shows that 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight increases serotonin production by more than 40%. Serotonin is the brain chemical that makes you feel alert, positive, mentally clear. That same light also tells your brain to stop producing melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy. Without that light signal, your body keeps making melatonin all morning long. You're awake, but your brain thinks you should still be asleep. The light has to enter through your eyes, not just touch your skin. Special receptors in your retina detect the specific wavelengths of morning sunlight and send signals directly to your brain's master clock. Indoor lighting, even bright indoor lighting, isn't strong enough. It doesn't have the right wavelengths. Windows filter out the wavelengths you need. You have to go outside. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is 10 times stronger than indoor light. I've stood on my porch in the rain, under the overhang, just to get that exposure. If it's cold, I wrap myself in a heavy shawl. The temperature doesn't matter. The light does. My friend Dolores struggled with insomnia for years. 81 years old, trying every sleep aid she could find. Melatonin, herbal teas, prescription medications. Nothing gave her more than a few hours. She'd lie awake from 2 in the morning until dawn, exhausted, but unable to sleep. One Sunday after church, I told her about my morning light routine. She laughed, said sitting outside wouldn't fix years of insomnia. But I asked her to try it for 1 week. Just 1 week. 5 days later, she called me. She'd fallen asleep at 9:30 the night before and slept straight through until 6 in the morning. She couldn't remember the last time that had happened. Within 2 weeks, she'd stopped taking sleep aids completely. Now she brings her coffee outside every morning and says it's become her favorite part of the day. What's happening scientifically is this. Morning light sets your body's internal timer. It tells every cell in your body what time it is, when to be active, when to rest. When you skip this step, your cells get confused. They don't know if it's morning or midnight, so your energy stays low, your mind stays foggy, and when night comes, your body doesn't know it's time to sleep. You end up tired all day, but wide awake at night. The timing matters too. The light exposure needs to happen within the first 30 minutes after waking. That's when your circadian system is most responsive. If you wait until afternoon, you've missed the window. Your body has already set its clock for the day, and that clock is running slow. I don't care if it's 20 degrees outside or if there's frost on the ground. I step onto that porch. Sometimes I bring my tea. Sometimes I just stand there and breathe. I watch the birds, notice how the light changes, feel the morning air on my face. Those 10 minutes have given me clearer thinking, steady energy that lasts all day, and the best sleep I've had in decades. Tomorrow morning, after you drink your water, open your front door. Step outside, even just onto your doorstep. Let the light find your eyes. Stand there for 10 minutes. That's all. But those 10 minutes will wake up your body in a way coffee never could. And tonight, when your head hits the pillow, you'll understand why this simple act changes everything. The third habit is 4 minutes for your mind. I want to ask you something honest. Have you walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or opened the refrigerator and stood there confused about what you needed? I have. When it first started happening to me in my late 70s, it frightened me, because our minds hold everything. Names of grandchildren, recipes passed down through generations, phone numbers we've known for decades. When those memories start slipping, it feels like losing pieces of yourself. But your brain isn't broken. It's just waiting for you to wake it up properly. Right after you open your eyes each morning, your brain exists in what scientists call a heightened state of plasticity. That means it's primed to form new connections. Fresh pathways light up more easily in those first waking hours than any other time of day. Your brain releases something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it as fertilizer for your neurons. But this window closes fast. Most people waste it scrolling through their phones or letting their minds wander to worries and tasks. What if you use those minutes differently? I've done the same 4-minute routine every morning since I turned 70. 1 minute, I solve a simple math problem in my head. Nothing complicated. Maybe 23 plus 18, or 7 times 9. Just enough to activate my logical thinking. 1 minute, I recall a detailed memory. I close my eyes and picture my wedding day. The color of the flowers, the sound of my father's voice, the weight of my bouquet. I try to reconstruct every detail. 1 minute, I learn 4 new words, sometimes from a book, sometimes from a word-a-day calendar. I say them out loud, use one in a sentence. My language center needs exercise just like my legs do. 1 minute, I visualize my day ahead. I picture myself moving through my morning with confidence and peace. I see myself calm, capable, joyful. That's it. 4 minutes total. I used to forget names of people I'd known for years. Now I remember details about conversations from weeks ago. I used to fumble for words mid-sentence. Now language flows naturally. I used to feel anxious about the day ahead. Now I step into each morning with clarity. My friend Carolyn is 88. 2 years ago, she had hip replacement surgery. Recovery was slow and painful, but she kept up this 4-minute brain practice every single morning, even when she couldn't do physical therapy. Her doctor said her cognitive recovery was remarkable for her age. Her mind stayed sharp, even when her body was healing. She told me, "Those 4 minutes gave me something to hold on to when everything else felt uncertain." You don't need apps or expensive brain training programs, just a notepad, a quiet corner, and 4 minutes of attention. I keep a small journal by my breakfast chair. I call it my morning brain garden. Each day I plant something new. Over time, it's bloomed into clarity I hadn't felt in years. The fourth habit is movement with intention. Youth doesn't keep you independent. Mobility does. The ability to rise from a chair without gripping the armrests, bending to tie your shoes without fear, walking across your kitchen without holding the counter. Not everyone over 80 can do these things, but you still can. It starts with how you move in your first 30 minutes awake. I used to think stretching was the answer. I had old yoga tapes from the 90s. I'd reach for my toes, twist my back, roll my neck. Then at 86, I started getting sharp pains in my lower back. Getting off the couch became difficult. One morning I lost my balance putting on socks. That scared me enough to see a physical therapist who specialized in older women. She told me something that changed everything. The stretches I did in my 40s weren't just unhelpful now. They were causing harm. As we age, our joints lose moisture. Connective tissues become less flexible. Our spines grow sensitive to twisting and pressure. What worked decades ago now creates tiny tears and inflammation. But movement remains essential. We just have to move differently, with purpose, with gentleness, respecting what our bodies have become. I follow a 7-minute sequence now. Shoulder circles while seated, gentle marching in my chair to wake up my hips, standing chest expansions in a doorway, supported squats holding my kitchen counter, ankle circles while seated, no floor work, no mats, no pain, Just careful, deliberate movement that honors my body instead of forcing it. My joints don't ache anymore when I wake up. I can carry my groceries, lift my great-grandson, move with confidence through my home and garden. Nancy is 87 and used to need a walker every morning. After 2 weeks of this sequence, she walked across her living room, unaided. She said it felt like her body finally remembered what it could do. Your body wants to serve you. It just needs you to move it wisely. Tomorrow morning, give it 7 minutes. Not as punishment, as partnership. So there you have it. 5 simple things that take less time than making breakfast. Water with salt the moment you wake. Natural light within 30 minutes. 4 minutes for your mind. 7 minutes of intentional movement. And a protein-rich breakfast that feeds your strength instead of just filling your stomach. None of this requires money or equipment or permission from a doctor. Just 17 minutes of your morning and the decision that you deserve to feel strong. Your body is still listening. Give it what it needs.